Hey everybody, we are going to live stream this SOMIFA semifinal football tilt here between the New York Jets, coached by Tom Cook, and the Seattle Seahawks, coached by Dennis Crowley. Crowley, I believe, was the first seed this year. They had 13 wins. I believe that makes them the number one seed. I think Tom had 10 wins in the league this year. And these are two of the elite coaches of this game that we all know and love. So if you're joining this broadcast or if you're watching this on YouTube, we are playing a game called Strat-O-Matic Football. It's a board game that was adapted for the computer. This is not Madden. This is a strategy game. It's a strategy-based game. Strat-O-Matic is mostly known for baseball, but they created this, I believe, in the late 60s and adapted it for the computer, quite some time ago, maybe 20 years ago. And SOMIFA is one of the granddaddy leagues. This is one in which there's 24 coaches, and they are some very, very strong coaches. And these two are two of the best, actually, and they'll be facing off here tonight. We've just started in this game. This is SOMIFA 2021 semifinal game. I'll let you know who they'll be facing off with, depending on who winds up winning this game. Here's a deep shot that falls incomplete. So it's 3rd down and 9. Seattle won the toss and elected to defer, gave it over to the Jets. They've gained 1 yard. So I'm going to open up some cards here so we can watch the action that way. Now, as it turns out, one of these coaches tonight also is one of the best broadcasters. He loves to call these playoff games, but obviously he can't coach and call a game simultaneously. And that's Tom Cook. And both he and Dennis have just crazy knowledge about card readings and things like that. And I've been coaching for 5 years, so I'm still kind of learning the game. So I'm more of a person that basically just calls plays. I don't really look at cards to tell you what happened or what percentage happened here or there, but I will call the game as I see it. So it'll be like a regular broadcast. Under center for the Jets is Fitzpatrick. That pass was incomplete, and now he will punt it away. So a 3-and-out for Seattle, who finished the season 13-3. Pittsburgh finishes the season 10-6, although these two clubs did meet in the regular season, and the Jets came out on top. I'm in this league too, as it turns out. Did not make the playoffs this year at 7-9. I believe I played Seattle this year. Not quite sure. I don't remember beating them. I did wind up beating the Jets, weirdly enough. Just a really lucky game. I think Mixon, my running back, just went crazy that night. But didn't make the playoffs and not in the position where these guys are. So here's a slant pass to, I believe that was Disley, maybe? It was. That's Will Disley at tight end. Now, one thing to know about Dennis's teams, they almost all have one thing in common, and that's who I've highlighted, Russell Wilson. He loves Seattle. He's a huge Seahawks fan. So at White House, he's got the very dangerous Tyreek Hill. And there's a pass that's incomplete. That was intended for Preston Williams, the Miami Dolphins wide receiver. So we're going to be calling a lot of players who play for a lot of different teams. So just to explain, this is a 24-team league. It's got deep roots. They've been playing quite some time. It's one of the most renowned leagues, especially for coaching skill. It's a keeper league. And so if you've never played Strat-O-Matic before, all of your offensive cards have individual cards, basically. And your linemen have numbers. You can see them here across the screen, the blue and the white. And they have running ratings and pass block ratings. And there's a 3-and-out right there it's 3rd down and 9. So Seattle's got 1 first down on this drive. They now are 3rd down and 9. And your defensive players, they don't have individual cards. They also have ratings. Some of them have split ratings. We're not doing a history lesson here of Strat-O-Matic, basically, but we're playing with team cards. And I think in the playoffs, I believe the home team gets the better cards. I believe the better pass defense cards. So I think they're both playing with, throughout the season, we play with an average run and pass. But in the playoffs, I believe the defense gets, the pass defense is up a notch for the home team. So that's how you get your home field advantage. Here's a third down that only picks up 6. And Seattle does not hesitate. They will kick this ball back to the Jets. So that was another completion to Disley. And there's a punt that is fielded at the 10, and it is fumbled. But it looks like the Jets are going to maintain possession. So early disaster averted there for the Jets. And they'll take over just a few yards away from the end zone. 9-yard line for the Jets. This is their second possession of the game. There's a pickup of 6 on the play. It was guessed right, but that's Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. So let's look at Tom's lineup here. We've got the Magic Man, Fitzpatrick under center, 2 tight end set, with Graham on one side and Mark Andrews on the other. Andrews has a solid card. There is a deep shot that is going to be intercepted. Seattle left a man in the zone that is intercepted by the free safety, I believe. Pass was intended for Graham. Intercepted by Landry, and Seattle will take over in Jets territory with excellent field position ball at the 30. So the first big break of the game. This comes just on the heels just a couple plays ago where the Jets almost fumbled away the ball at the 9. But they're unable to avoid the turnover bug, and Seattle will take over. There's a 5-yard first down play that was a carry by Mark Ingram, who had one of the best running back cards in the set this year. There's a quick pass that is completed. That went to Tyreek Hill, a 9-yard pickup on the play. And things look promising here for Seattle with 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. No score. Seattle's on the doorstep. Wilson looking for Ingram, and that pass is incomplete. It's second down. Let's check the broadcast here, see if anybody wants to join. It's very, very late here on the East Coast, but for them, it's not late. Of course, Tom is a bit of a night owl tonight, too. It's 12:30 our time, 9:30 Dennis's time. But Tom found some time to play. Tom brings some heat on display, and the Jets have sacked Russell Wilson. So Wilson goes down, loses 8 yards on the play. And now with 3rd and 18, let's look at the pass rush here that we've got. And there's your man over there, Chandler Jones. Just so pass rush, not great, but just enough. And there's a run up the middle, but he's going to be stopped. That could have been a true disaster. A white dive 4. Nose tackle is able to make the play. He's a 5. Had that been a 6, that would have been a touchdown. But instead, Seattle will capitalize on the turnover. The field goal is good from Robbie Gould. And the Jets have come out to an early 3-0 lead here over the New York Jets. The Seahawks will take a 3-0 lead over the Jets. Jets will now have their 3rd possession of the game. So this is the SOMIFA semifinals for the year 2020-21. We are in January, late January 21. when this broadcast is taking place. So Tim Bowler is the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Jay Villing, the longtime coach of Cincinnati. Those are the two finalists. The other semifinalists, Tampa finishing second, and Cincinnati finishing third. And I believe Tom Cook was a 6th seed, so they chose to crash the party. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 6 seeds here left in the Final Four. On that first run, guessed wrong. McCaffrey just caught a bad break, a bad roll. Gains nothing on the play. It's now 2nd down and 10. And after that incomplete pass, it's now 3rd and 10 for the Jets. And another pass that falls incomplete. So Fitzmagic is not off to a great start. He's 1 of 6 so far in the contest, and they will punt this one back to Seattle. So the Jets have been stymied so far. Well, there could be a big break. There's a fumble on the play. Let's see who's going to wind up with this one. And the Jets have the second biggest play of the game, and they now have turned over Seattle. So that is the second punt fumble, one for each team. Jets were able to recover with terrible field position at their 9. A couple plays later, Ryan Fitzpatrick throws an interception, and Seattle took over at the Jets 30, and now the Jets will take over at the Seattle 23-yard line. There's a pickup of 5 for McCaffrey. So far in this game, turnovers have told the story. Field position has been very big. Short field here for the Jets. They're down 3-0. At minimum, look like they're getting ready to tie this game up, but let's see if they can maybe even take the lead. Don't want to squander good field position like this. He's looking for DJ Moore. Defense gets his run, but the pass falls incomplete. Talk about dancing between the raindrops there. You look on DJ Moore's card, it's incomplete on 8 and 12. So 3rd and 5. So while Tom is very happy to have this field position, and again, at this point, it'd be a 35-yard field goal. Not a gimme, but certainly a great chance to tie this game. He definitely is looking for more. You'd hate to get this good field position and have to settle for a field goal here. You never know how many breaks you're going to wind up getting in this game. Here is a pass that is completed. So Fitzpatrick, clutch on 3rd down, finds McCaffrey for an 11-yard pickup, and it's 1st and goal to go. Ball at the 7-yard line. 4 minutes on a running clock here in the first quarter. Jets trailing 3-0, but on the doorstep. 3, maybe 4 cracks to get it in. Full house backfield for the Jets. 4-3, Dennis showing blitz. Pretty stout up front, 6s and 5s. Defense gets his run. Here's a pass to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. So Seattle, thinking that the Jets were going to pound it for a few plays, Tom Cook crosses him up, and Fitzpatrick, his 3rd completion in a row. That one again to McCaffrey, and the Jets have leaped out to a 7-3 lead here with 3.5 to go in the first quarter. On the subsequent kick, the Seahawks will take a knee in the end zone, and they'll take over 1st and 10 at their 25. Again, the winner of this contest, pitting the number 1 seed New York Jets against the number 6 seed, the number 1 Seattle Seahawks against the number 6 New York Jets. The winner of this will take on Tampa or Jacksonville. Tampa, the number 2 seed. Actually, I just looked at my texts here. I've said this incorrectly. Tom is the number 4 seed here in SOMIFA. So, frankly, there's been no surprises whatsoever in the playoffs. It's gone according to Hoyle. So the 1's playing the 4 and the 2 is playing the 3. There's been nobody beneath that making any noise. There's a completed pass and a first down ball at the as a 12-yard pickup. So Seattle now has the ball at the 41. 5 of 7 so far for Wilson. And there's a pickup of 12 on a run. And another first down. That's Mark Ingram. Ingram of the real-life Baltimore Ravens had a fine season. Now, just to be clear, we are playing with 2019 cards. We're not playing with 2020 cards, so we'll have to see what next year holds. But Ingram didn't put up nearly the stats as he did this year. J.K. Dobbins, the rookie from Ohio State, took over and has become their feature back. And, of course, they have Gus Edwards, too. 2nd down and 8 after that 2-yard pickup by Ingram. That's a completed pass, but it only goes for 3 yards, 1 man in the zone. Not a lot of love on that flat pass card if you leave your man home. But he's picking on that left linebacker who is Chandler Jones. A zero-rated pass defender is pretty tempting when you hit that 7 and it's a short gain. Maybe get you a white die 6 too. So 3 wide set here for Seattle. The Jets counter with a 3-3-5, not showing blitz here. 3rd and 5 with the ball at the 42-yard line. This is probably 4-down territory. It just depends on what Seattle's able to do on this play. Seahawks trailing 7-3. Wilson is looking for Preston Williams, and he completes it. It's on his card. Look at Wilson's card. Look what makes it so dangerous. Any roll between 4 and 9 looks pretty good. We'll see if we get some of those must-run readings so we can take a look at that here a little bit later. But that's another first down conversion for Seattle. This drive started at their own 25. And there's a pass that goes absolutely nowhere. Second down and 10. There's a flat pass that goes for 7 yards. That was completed to Ingram. So it's now 3rd down and 3. Jets are in their base 4-3. They are showing blitz. They vacated the middle of the zone. That's a button hook pass or a look-in pass, and that is completed for 20 yards. So nobody in the zone. Tom was bringing some heat there. And with that vacated zone, a 20-yard pickup. And it's 1st and goal, ball at the 1. So barring a crazy circumstance here, and there is no circumstance that is crazy, that's a touchdown for Russell Wilson. So Seattle has taken the lead now 10-7 in this SOMIFA semifinal game. And so that's the first points on the board that had nothing to do with a turnover. The first points of the game, Seattle got a field goal early after an interception by Fitzpatrick. The Jets got a touchdown after a Seattle muffed punt. That made it 7-3. That was a long drive for Seattle. There is a pass that is intercepted. Seattle with 2 men in the zone. And the second turnover of the game is a huge one, as, again, Seattle, for the second time in this contest, is going to take over deep in Jets territory with the ball at the 26, 13 minutes to go here in the first quarter. We've seen 3 big turnovers, and they've all been deep in each team's zones. So it's left both clubs with short fields. Seattle was able to capitalize on the first turnover with a field goal. The Jets capitalized on their turnover with a touchdown. There is a quick pass, but it goes for nothing. Oh, sorry, that was Ingram. Sorry, that was an Ingram run. So it's second down and 10, excuse me. I saw a linebacker in the zone, and I misread it. There's a crossing pass. That's good. And a first down. Only always at the 12. That's Tyreek Hill's second catch of the game. Wilson thus far is 10 out of 12 for 99 yards. Here's another pass, but this one falls incomplete on Russell's card. Second and 10, ball at the 12. Seattle plays with pace. They don't take a lot of time for their plays. Defense in 3-4. Free safety blitz coming. Here's a crossing pattern pass to Tyreek Hill, but instead it's a dump off, and it only picks up 4. So now it's 3rd and 6. That was to Preston Wilson. Jets bring heat. They don't get to the quarterback, but they force the dump off. So now it's 3rd and 6 with the ball at the 8. Flat pass is now out of the question. Seattle stays in the eye here. I believe that's Ingram still in the backfield. Defense is double teaming 2 wide receivers, but it doesn't matter. Instead, that's a run for Ingram up the middle, but he is stopped. And so Seattle will kick this field goal. And so for the second time in this game, they're given excellent field position. Have to settle for a field goal, but that'll extend the lead to 13-7. So the Jets have turned the ball over twice. It's led to 6 Seattle points. Seattle has turned the ball over once. It's led to 7 points from the Jets. So Tom has to feel pretty good about that, to hold him to 2 field goals, considering both turnovers were deep in Jets territory. So on this first play, it's going to be a pitch, but he's caught 1 yard in the backfield. Dennis brought a linebacker up. After 4 carries for 10 yards so far, but he 2 big catches, 1 for a touchdown. 2nd and 11, 9:30 on the running clock here in the second quarter. Jets trailing 7-13, 13-7. Winner will play the winner of Tampa and Cincinnati, the number 2 and number 3 seeds. Right now, this is the number 1 and number 4 seed in the SOMIFA 2021 championships. Defense in the 3-3-5. Here's an inside run for McCaffrey. Defense calls pass. There is the dreaded 5. As Tom Cook is wont to say, it's now 3rd and 11. So playing behind the sticks here, Fitzpatrick. Got to be pretty careful here. He's kind of flippant with the ball. He does have a bit of a higher interception rate than what most quarterbacks do have in this set. What do they say? When you put the ball up, there's 3 things that can happen and 2 of them are bad. But with Fitzpatrick, he does have a higher interception rate than the average quarterback. So let's see. He's going to play it safe here. He's going to dump off with a screen. And the ball is fumbled. Advanced, fumbled again, and this time Seattle comes with the ball again. So the third turnover. So the Jets recovered the ball a couple of yards short and chose to go for it and maybe try to nudge it forward for a couple of yards, a la the Oakland Raiders, but it does not work. They cannot advance the ball forward. Instead, Seattle will recover it. And for the third time in this game, they have great field position here inside of the Jets 35. That first pass is incomplete. It's on the defense's card. Only 3 men in the zone, and he found the one blank spot on the entire card. Wilson, 11 for 15 so far for 109 yards. Here is a pass to Ingram, actually, out of the backfield. Pass falls incomplete. It's now 3rd and 10. So Ingram is guarded by a 4. That's Damian Wilson from Kansas City. Third and 10, defense in a 3-3-5. Dennis stays in the I formation here. And here is an inside run, but it goes backward at 0. Stopped at the line, another unfortunate roll there of a 5. And this is a deep kick. And so Seattle's going to go for it. It's not a risky play here. He doesn't feel confident with his field goal kicker. Robbie Gould, this would have been a 50-yarder. And, of course, it would have depended on the variable field goal range. It could have been even longer than that. So he's going to choose to go for it here on 4th and 10. Can the Jets dodge another bullet? 3 turnovers in this half, and they've only allowed 6 points. They're in the 3-3-5, and they are bringing a ton of heat here. And go big or go home. They're going for a deep shot. And a dump-off pass. A dump-off pass that is completed. Russell Wilson finding Will Dissly, his real-life teammate from Seattle, and is able to pick up the first down. So, a bad break, especially on Russell Wilson's card. That was the only measure that would have given them a touchdown. And speaking of which, there is a touchdown. That one belongs to Ingram on that run up the middle. The nose tackle is not able to make the play. The Jets have a solid nose tackle 5, I believe, in there, and the white die happened to be a 6, so back-to-back cruddy rolls. And Seattle is up 19-7, and they're looking for 2 here, and they do not get it. Looking for Tyreek Hill, and the pass falls incomplete. So here come the Jets, bloodied but unbowed. Trailing by 12 with 6 minutes to go here in the first. So a crazy first half in which we've had the Jets have turned the ball over 3 times, a muffed punt, an interception from Fitzpatrick, and a fumble. And that's actually I believe that's the 4th fumble of the game now for the Jets, as they were able to recover 2 of their own fumbles, but one of them happened to be on a play where they fumbled it immediately after fumbling it. So it's been kind of crazy here. But hopefully Tom can settle things down. That was Chris Conley, by the way, on the reception there. A pickup of 7. Here's an off-tackle run. Guessed wrong, but he only gets 2 on the play, and that was McCaffrey again. If you can see the card on the right, and this is pretty consistent with a lot of the best running backs. Basically, you've got that barbell card where you've got those high gains, 40, long gain on 3, and a 75-yarder on a 12, but only a 2-yard pickup on 11. So now it's 3rd and 1. It's too early to be talking about must-haves as far as conversions are concerned. Here's a button hook pass That is completed for just enough yards to get the first down. Only needed one. That's all he got. But that's good enough to move the chains. So 4:30 to go here in the first quarter. Fitzpatrick trying to drive this club down the field to field goal, touchdown, whatever it's going to take. Try to cut this thing down. 12-point lead right now. There is a run, a pickup of 7 on the play for McCaffrey. That's 7 carries now for 19 yards. He has the Jets' lone touchdown reception in the first quarter that gave the Jets a 7-3 lead over Seattle. But since then, it's been all Seahawks, 16 points in a row. There is a pass that is caught. No, I'm sorry, it's incomplete. Andrews, incomplete pass, so it's 3rd down and 3. 3:36 to go. Here in the first half, Seattle up 19-7. The winner will take on either Tampa or Cincinnati in the SOMIFA championship game. That game is yet to be played. There is another big conversion for the Jets, so they are driving here with 3 minutes to go in the first half. There's a pickup of 6 on the play. Reception by Cooper Kupp. That's his first catch of the ball game. So Kupp and DJ Moore and Philip Dorsett is checked into the game. Here is a deep shot, and I believe he was looking for Dorsett. That's right. He was looking for Dorsett. So it looks like when they go to the 2 tight end set, that's DJ Moore and Cooper Kupp. There is a run up the middle. Left tackle is able to make the block on that play. Actually, the defensive left tackle was not able to make the tackle on that play. So that is a pickup of 12, I believe, for McCaffrey. 32 yards so far in this game. There's a quick pass that picks up 6. And that goes to Cooper Kupp at 2nd down and 4. Plenty of time here. 2-minute warning. Three wide set defense in the 3-3-5. Here's an inside run for McCaffrey, but he gets the white die 1 in the 3 wide set. When you roll the 1, the reading is guessed right automatically. McCaffrey is able to put it in for 2 yards. Now it's 3rd and 2. Jets have converted 2 third downs on this drive. $16 unanswered points, but the Jets are knocking on the door. They are not in comfortable field goal range, but they are right now 46 yards away. But you wonder if this is 4-down territory here. Here's an off-tackle run. Defense keys McCaffrey. That makes the decision a little bit more difficult at 4th and 3. It is a 47-yarder, though. Here, let's look and see. 2 through 6. And they are going to go for it here. So a 2 through 6, notwithstanding the variable field goal. Actually, no, I read that wrong. I believe that was a little bit better than that. It could have been a variable 2 for 6, but either way, cutting this to 19-10, that wasn't good enough for the Jets, so they're going to go for it. 4th and 3. Defense counters with the 4-3. Here's a pass to Andrews, and it's going to be caught. So that's a good break there for the Jets on Fitzpatrick's card. That is a short gain. Only picks up 10, but Tom Cook is very happy to get that. So that'll move the chains. 1:15 to go here. The Jets have coughed up the ball 3 times, which has allowed 13 points so far for Seattle. The Jets did capitalize on Seattle's lone turnover, which led to a touchdown. There's a run for 3. I believe that's Montgomery in the game. The running back from the Chicago Bears should have an excellent strat card next year. PFF was very high on him. He's had a very mediocre first season with the Bears, but he looks solid. Here's a quick pass over the middle. And it's now 3rd and 7. Defender able to make the play. 3rd and 7 with the ball at the 17. 1 minute to go. Seattle is taking a timeout on this drive to preserve some clock in case they wind up getting it back. The Jets have 1 timeout remaining. 1 minute to go. Clock is stopped here. 3rd and 7. Tough conversion here for Chicago. This has been a lengthy drive for them, and they've done an excellent job on 3rd down. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going. Would love to have a touchdown here before the half. Here's a pass for Conley, but it's incomplete on his card, and it looks like the Jets will have to settle. For about a 34-yard kick. That's Dan Rainey, and it is good. So between the pipes, it's now 19-10 with 45 seconds to go. Seattle does have 2 timeouts remaining. That ball goes clear through the end zone, and they will take over 1st and 10 at their 25. 2 timeouts to go, already up 19-10. The beneficiary of 3 turnovers that has led to 13 of their 19 points. Seattle has turned the ball over once, and it gave the Jets 7 of their 10 points. So back in the I formation, we've got that deep threat Tyreek Hill over there. Preston Williams, not too shabby. I think he's a 5 out of 6 deep as well. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to shoot for Williams. And on Russell Wilson's card, it is good. And he is racing all the way to the 25-yard line, a 50-yard pickup. And they have successfully flipped the field in just 1 play, now with the ball at the 37, already up by 9. Both coaches are going back and forth and talking about the Tom Cook claiming brain cramp. Dennis saying lucky roll. Not much you can do on a guest right card that's on Wilson unless you're going to double team him. Even if you throw 2 back in the zone, it doesn't really stop that. Sometimes you're just going to get unlucky. Or you get lucky. Inside run for Ingram. He picks up 7 on the play, and Seattle will burn 1 of their 2 timeouts. Actually, that's their last timeout. Williams, you can't go out of bounds on a long pass, and so they'll burn their timeout there. That run up the middle as opposed to the end, giving him a chance to get out of bounds. Instead, he opts to go up the middle. He does pick up 7 on the play. Now with the ball resting at the 18, you got to be a little careful here with 30 seconds to go. You don't want to get too cute. You're already up by 9, and you've got a chance to extend this lead by minimum by 12. I want to risk a sack here. There's a pass to Hill. I believe Hill was double teamed on that play. He was double teaming him. I was looking for a dump off pass. I didn't realize that Tyreek Hill has such a good guest right double team card. That's pretty solid, actually. So despite his best efforts, he's able to make the play, and worse than that, he gets out of bounds. So now with 15 seconds to go, Crowley has to be careful here too. How gutsy do you want to be on 1st and goal at the 4? And he is going to be super gutsy. He runs it, chooses to run up the middle, risking the clock expiring. And that's Frank Gore, crashes the party for a touchdown. 25 points here in the first half. They're trying to go up to 27-10. So, wow, what a call. I would never, ever have guessed that. But Gore's card guessed wrong. Really, really strong. If it's on Gore's card, there's only a couple of rolls that he's not going to get in. He goes for 2 on this play, and he is sacked, so the lead stays at 15. And he will end the half with an onside kick. Doesn't matter who recovers it. That is the half. And so fireworks here. Turnovers, long passes. Seen just about everything in this first half. So Seattle is going to kick the ball to the Jets. They are down 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion, basically 25-10 in the SOMIFA 2021 championship. So we've missed some animation here. Well, we've missed some animation here. Something just happened that Seattle wound up scoring a touchdown, and it didn't show up on the screen. That's amazing. We get this every once in a while in this game, and now we're going to have to log back in. We've gotten frozen. I'll have to ask him exactly what had happened. Jump back into this game. So I'm still a little confused about this. I don't know how Seattle winds up with a 96-yard kick return. It looked like Seattle was kicking it to the Jets. We must have just totally missed that animation. There we go. 96-yard kickoff return. Okay, so I guess we just didn't get a chance to see the animation. I guess now I'm confused because I'm not seeing any. I see him talking back and forth. Why are they still talking, question mark? I don't see any animation on my screen, question mark. Also, comma, I thought the animation seemed to indicate the Jets were getting the ball first. Well, so I guess the animation that we missed, Tim just sent a note just a moment ago that said that Sims returned a kick 96 yards for Seattle. So somewhere between there, we missed the play. So sorry, everybody. Every once in a while, you get some flunky animation on here that makes like little to no sense. But here's basically where we are. Bottom line, Jets are now trailing by 22 points. Very early here in the third quarter, 32-10, Seattle over the Jets. Seattle the number 1 seed, the Jets the number 4 seed. Tim Bowler is in the crowd. Tim, you're welcome to join if you like. I invited you to the broadcast if you want to join. Yeah, Tim just sent me a note here just a second ago, and he's right. They do miss the animation. So 4th and 2, I think this is pretty much obvious. The Jets are going to go for it here as I'm catching up a little bit. Still kind of confused here about the events that have taken place. This has been a crazy game to begin with lots of turnovers, 3 in particular on the Jets side. And now with a kickoff return for a touchdown, they're really staring it down, 22 points. Ball at their own 46. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 2. Do or die now for New York. Here's a screen pass. Defense guesses pass, looking for McCaffrey. And he is stymied on a white dive 4, so Seattle will take over at the Jets 46, up 32-10. Pass to Tyreek Hill, defense guesses pass. That's on Russell Wilson's card. It's a pickup at 12. That'll move the chains again. So 32-10. Very early here in the third quarter, 11-24. So any score at all here would extend this beyond 3 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions, which is tall order to begin with. So the Jets have to start hoping for some fumbles, some crazy mistakes, some 3 and outs. I think there's been some flukes on one side, so maybe we'll see some here in the second half, but a lot of breaks have gone the way of the Seahawks this game. Third and 3, ball resting at the Jets 27. Deep shot and this is going to be another touchdown. Wow. So defense guesses run on that play, and Wilson goes over the top and finds Preston Wilson for the score. He's already caught 2 bombs this game, and that will extend the lead to 39-10. So Tom Cook will not quit, but boy, it's tough to stay motivated when you're down by 4 scores and a 2-point conversion. But there's still a ton of time left in this game. He's going to coach his way through it. Let's see what happens. Got to put one foot in front of another and drive for a touchdown and then see what happens. So I think all of us have coached games where we thought the game was completely out of reach, and the next thing you know, their opponent comes back. I've been up 21. I just had a game a couple weeks ago where I was up 21 points to an opponent and just wasn't able to hold the lead. So 29, it's rare, it's remote, but it's not impossible. Carried by McCaffrey, pickup of 1. 9 minutes here in the third quarter. The number 4 seed New York Jets down 39-10 to the number 1 seed Seattle Seahawks. The winner will take on either Tim Boulder, who coaches the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the number 2 seed, or Jay Villing, the Cincinnati Bengals coach, the number 3 seed. So the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds all survived to this Final Four round. No surprises. 3rd and 7 for the Jets on their 34. After 2 runs that didn't go anywhere. And there is a pass, but it falls incomplete. Actually, it's a loss of 2 on the play. And then Jets are going to have to punt this ball again. So Seattle will take over at their 21 yard line. So 7.5 to go, up 4 scores. A 4-yard pickup on first down. In all likelihood, punching their ticket to the SOMIFA championship game. The number 1 seed will look to play the number 2 or number 3 seed unless something pretty remarkable happens here. First and 10 at their 35. There's a pickup. 4 on the play for the ageless Frank Gore. Second down and 6. And there's a run up the middle, and that's another first down for Gore. Another pickup of 6 for 4, or 6 for Frank Gore. How you doing, Nathan? You all right?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. You want to talk some over a 28-point lead with 20 more minutes to go?
I just jumped on and saw that bomb for a touchdown.
Yeah. It's been just crazy bad breaks. Jets have turned it over 3 times. Fitzpatrick interception. I can't remember who the running back was that fumbled. McCaffrey, I believe, and then a 96-yard kick return and just all sorts of crazy stuff on here. 3 turnovers and a kick return. Yeah, it's just been sad. Hate to see a game go this bad.
Yeah, it's a lot better to have those in the regular season than the playoffs.
Yeah.
Especially since it's not like it's real easy to beat Dennis as it is, you know?
Right, yeah, like you need 3 turnovers. It's funny, the turnovers that they had, they held him to field goals for the first 2 of them, but then he was able to get a touchdown, and it was a Mark Ingram run, I think, on like a 3rd down and 12, and then the wheels totally fell off after that. So you just hate to see that.
Ingram's a pretty good back in this test.
No question.
And Dennis knows how to use him. He's got him frozen tundra too.
Mm-hmm.
And he throws to him a lot, which I think is a good move, especially with the way people double team.
So just before the half, that was the first bomb that he hit to Williams. I think at the time, I'm just trying to do the math here in my head. I think it was 19-10 at the time. Seattle had the ball at their own. There's a good run. Hey, there you go, man. So if you bet the over, you can go to bed. He hit Wilson for a deep shot that after a couple plays, they managed to get to the 4. There was 15 seconds to go. They were up 19-10 just before the half, this being Seattle. And he put Gore in, and he didn't have any timeouts left. And I thought, well, this is just going to be a pass. And he runs Gore up the middle. He winds up scoring. If he gets stopped, do you get another play? Is it stopped at 1 second, or is it over?
What was the situation now?
Okay, ball at the 4, 15 seconds, no timeouts left. He runs Gore, and on Gore's card, there's only a couple of chances, the 5, obviously, and I think the 6, but everything else was a touchdown if it was on Gore's card. Let's just say he rolls a 5 or a 6, and he gets 0 or he gets 2. With 15 seconds to go, no timeouts, a run up the middle, do you get another play? I mean, I know realistically you shouldn't, but in this game, do you get another play?
So you'd have to both spike it with 2 ticks. I don't exactly know. I usually am not looking until I'm in the 2 minute, and usually you can kind of figure it out before you run the play.
Mm-hmm. I just figured if he stuffed him there, that was going to be the end of the quarter or the end of the half. But I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it's pretty much a moot point.
Well, a timeout would only be 1 tick. I think stopping the clock might only be 2 ticks, so he may have been able to spike it. I'd have to double check that.
But if he would have spiked it, if he has 15 and it would have gone down to 1, if you spike it, then you're at 0.
No, so if you call a timeout after with 15 seconds, it'd go to 8 seconds.
He didn't have a timeout left, is what I'm saying. He had 0 timeouts with the ball to 4.
What I'm saying is the very next tick would be 1 second.
Right.
So if he was calling a timeout, it only takes 1 tick. I think if he spikes it, it only takes 2 ticks, which would bring it to 1 second.
Okay.
I think. I'm not positive.
I wonder. I do kind of wonder that. It seems like
I'm sure he knew. Either he just figured he had a really good chance at the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it. I bet he probably knew he could spike it, and that's probably what the case was.
Wow. Okay.
Because I think a spike might only take 2 ticks. What's a hurry up take? Oh yeah, Tim says you can spike with 1 second.
There you go. Thank you, Tim. I mean, I know I should know the answer to that, I'm sure.
Like I said, I'm not usually looking at it unless I'm in the middle of it. And it gives you.
By the way, when a game is like out of control here, this is a good time to talk about other stuff. Your beatdown of my Rams sent me into the worst spiral. Like, I lost the game to Grand Rapids on a missed extra point as time expired. And then I was up by 21 against Green Bay and snared defeat out of the jaws of victory. I was driving and I threw a pick and he went down the field and went for 2 on with 2 minutes left to go and beat me 25-24. I was playing Southern California tonight and like every play call was like, oh, I can't wait to see where this is going to go. Like he had like a fumble that went 75 yards in my direction. I thought, well, this game stinks. I don't want to play this anymore. I had just totally lost confidence after that game. You know, the worst thing is like, hey, Dennis, why don't you do me a favor? I got a game here 12-0 and 12 ago. Why don't you put this on YouTube so we can watch this? And now there's like tape of this humiliation.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, it's a lot better to have your bad games, in the regular season.
I think so too.
Especially where like you're missing an extra point. Like think about my game against Tennessee in S28 where the guy he shanks, he's got, about a 1 in 5 chance of shanking an extra point he does. Yeah. And then he's got not quite a 1 in 3 chance, like a 10 out of 36, and he shanks that. He most likely is going to win because he'd be up 2 with 30 seconds left,
Right. You only think about the ones you lose. You don't think about that's what I had. I mean,
you must be a poker player.
Well, no, I mean, I had, that's how Green Bay comes back and gets you to score 2. I mean, it's not like he did it on the last play of the game. I still had a chance with 2 minutes to go and couldn't move the ball anywhere. But I mean, I'm not an idiot. I remember the game I played him where I was up or I was winning the whole game. He comes down and scores, leaves me 8 seconds left to go. And I hit Perriman for an 81-yard touchdown pass on the last play of the game. So yeah, like I charmed life. That first 12 games, that was a charmed life. Turnover margin was crazy. It was ridiculous. I mean, Mahomes had 36 maybe 28 touchdown passes for me. There's 4 picks. That's all he had the whole year.
That was an interesting play there. Dennis just went for it on 4th and 5. But I guess he was kind of in no man's land.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Tim.
How you doing?
Good. I was kind of watching along and then I realized you were broadcasting, so I was listening to you for a while. I thought I'd jump in and help out just because it's such a blowout. That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. I agree.
just going to bring up, it's weird. Dennis had like our league record in turnovers differential this year, and he's having another one of those games here. It looks like
He is. Yeah, like he needs breaks.
Yeah, he really needed the opening kickoff there, didn't he?
Horrible.
You give a good coach a quarterback, running back combo like Ingram and Wilson, and it's lethal. I mean,
what do you think's going to happen, right?
It's a lot of the other stuff you can really coach around a lot more than those two.
And he's a great defensive coach, and he's got two key like queens on a chessboard at free safety and middle linebacker. Having six there really gives you kind of like a force multiplier on defense.
That's one thing I really, really like having is a 6 free safety. It's especially, I mean, like in S28, the 2 years I've won, I had a 4 strong safety, a 4 corner, and then 1 year I had a 4 corner. The other one was a 4 corner, but this year it was a 0 corner. That safety can really protect you from a lot of things.
I think that's a really valuable piece. It's something I almost never have. I've got like the last combined 25 years, I've had like one team that's had an elite free safety, and that's an older league. I've got Ken Houston, who can play free safety 6 all the time. But I watch other teams do it, and I'm like, it's like I've got to face Jamal Adams with Jay. And, I know he's going to be wherever I'm throwing. That's where Jamal Adams is going to be. So.
This stuff's kind of weird, too. I've never seen so many high-rated safeties. There's so many 6s and 5s in this that it's like 25 or 26 of them are 6s and 5s. It's really, really high.
Tom asked him about that when Glenn came on to talk with us about that.
I watched that interview.
I don't think he had an answer, to be honest with you. I think he kind of stumped him on that one. That
I think he kind of talked about how sometimes one position will get more and other positions don't.
Right.
And so, like for instance, they asked also about the outside linebackers having more, and I think they were kind of saying that it took away from some of the interior line ratings. I feel like off top, I actually wrote them all down because I like to look at the beginning of the year to see what's what. I think that there was a lot less corners this year, so that's probably part of it too.
Yeah,
there were some leagues where it was hard. I mean, S28 as an example, I couldn't even get a 4 at corner, without getting bent over basically, and I just decided I wasn't going to do it, and I was just going to bring the rush the whole time.
I'm starting a 0 at corner and autumn wind, and it's the same thing. I looked around. It's like, man, it's going to cost a huge amount of draft capital to go just get a 4. Who's on the draft flag?
I had to pay up for a 4 in autumn wind, and it was a guy that, as I suspected, might not even play, much this year.
Right. Yeah, I mean, these leagues that basically, if you think about it, there's 32 teams in the league, and there's only 64 boundary corners, and so there's going to be some crappy teams that are just going to basically have zeros, and there's no way to fix that.
But like 32 teams and there's 2 6 nose tackles, that's things like that definitely stick out as unusual. Yeah, so there was 9 6-rated corners and 19 5-rated corners. So you're looking at 28. And at safety, you got 10, 12 6s and 25. So 32. I mean, everyone should have a 5 or 6 safety.
Jeez. Yeah. Boy, that's a big number.
And then some, you should have any good team's probably going to have 2.
Right.
I don't know if it's true or not, because I'm not sure if anybody's ever done a study, but I wonder if there's more potential nickels who are 4s or better, since they now rate them differently. In other words, in the old days, they're not going to give a backup defensive back 4 if a team's starting a 0 at corner. But now with a separate slot rating, I'm wondering if there's more guys who maybe they can't play cornerback, but they're eligible as a nickel because, like say, I'm wondering if Strat has a few more rated that way, just not being able to play the.
I think so. There was 7 slot corner 5s this year. and that's got to be higher than the past. When you might have got a guy on the bench as a 5.
Mm.
Yeah, those rare defensive back 5s you'd find on the bench. I
Yeah,
remember
that was
Roy Mumford was like one of the first ones.
a crazier. You'd have 2 or 3 of them.
Well, it would really help out draft again, and they don't care squat about draft leagues. I get that, but it would really help draft leagues a lot if they would reduce that rule that you have to be a 6 to make any impact as a border corner to maybe turn like a 5 into a 4. That would at least help out some of these clubs instead of having to overpay. But again, I mean, rule's a rule.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I mean, it's a different position. Like for years, I played the 3 receiver set specifically because there weren't any slot corners. Because you can attack slots. I mean, imagine if they didn't have the slot corners where they were giving those guys ratings for it specifically. No one keeps, or rarely does anyone keep a 5 slot corner specifically. You might have a 0 starting there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can attack those flats with the 3 wide, and then you've got your speed guy as your 3rd receiver, and you just take your shots when they start coming up and try to flood zones and double team your possession.
Right.
It's too easy to take advantage of, I think. I like that they made that rule. It added an extra, like people look at it and say, oh, it diminishes their value. But I mean, really, those guys would have never had that value. I look at it like there are some exceptions, like I think Marlon Humphrey, obviously, where he's getting hosed over because he's really a starter. But for the most part, a lot of those guys are just, guys that would have never got rated in the past.
Well, that's, I know a couple of years ago he was hosed. Now this last year he was listed as a border corner, but if you look at our boundary,
years ago, I think he was more of a starter than
he was. But it's funny that they call him a slot corner because, I mean, to me, it should be a 3rd DB, not a slot corner. Because if you're going to go by the letter of the law, and which they don't, but if you would go on Pro Football Reference, like Baltimore, I think he plays the slot more than those other 2. When he didn't start playing boundary until Jimmy Smith got hurt. If you look where he truly lines up, he really is a slot corner. And, of course, he's on my autumn win team. If they throw him into the slot next year, I'm going to start throwing things. Because, I mean, I still consider him a 6 and an elite corner just because he happens to be positioned in the slot. That doesn't mean that he's the 3rd best DB on that team. So, at least I hope Strat doesn't treat him that way.
Yeah, I remember before they started doing slot corner, Tyrann Mathieu had a year where he played in the corner. He played out there in coverage like every player. Everyone was like, well, is he going to be a corner? But, they just have a mechanism. They got to put him in a starting spot. Mm-hmm. I wonder back then if he would have been made specifically the slot corner.
Yeah.
A big debate about whether or not, a safety should be able to play, that 3rd DB spot, and we had changed the rule.
Mm-hmm.
One of those guys that was like out there in coverage at corner all the time.
Yeah. Tim, have you played Jay? Are you still on here? Have you played Jay this year?
Yes, we played earlier in the year, and he won comfortably, something like 28-17. I don't remember exactly, but it was a pretty comfortable win. May have, as a matter of fact, it was when I was, it was in our first 4 games, and Mahomes played a majority of the game, and it's one of those games where I was already kind of getting a feel that I might need to, go more to Prescott. So,
okay.
But yeah, he won earlier in the year, but it was real early. It's like our 4th game or something.
Oh, that's right. You have Mahomes and Prescott.
Right. And that was back when I was still playing Mahomes mostly. And really after that game, that's kind of when I switched to having Prescott as my primary quarterback this year.
Do you change your quarterback based on the defensive personnel you're facing, or do you just like to play a certain style and you just play Prescott?
No, I have gone by exactly what you're talking about, just a certain feel for an opponent. One of the teams and I would have to look back at the matchup to figure out why, but against San Francisco was one of the games that I kind of had a feeling Mahomes would play well. He did, and he ended up playing a majority of that game. But really, there's only maybe one other game that I would say even got half the snaps after week 4. And something I kind of thought might happen. I mean, I was kind of like you guys would be looking at the, of course, better short and long, but there's a lot more flat passes in the game than there are short and long passes. And in big situations of, making or not making a first down sometime. And I just had maybe 1 in 3 feeling that Prescott might work out better, but I still felt like I thought my best shot was with Mahomes. I was like, if I just kind of overlook that and run my normal offense, but it just wasn't working out. And the stats are really heavily in favor of Prescott. So it's one of those
Who are your
kind of change.
running backs?
I'm sorry?
Who are your running backs?
Tevin Coleman and Miles Sanders.
With Miles Sanders, I could definitely see using Dak Prescott more. I think with Tevin Coleman, I might like Dak or Mahomes more.
That's actually the way I kind of felt, and I'd even thought about having drives that would feature one back and mixing with the quarterback. But the more the season went on, I kind of felt like the down distance would dictate my backfield. Like 1st and 10 for me is a better Coleman back. I feel like he's going to generate the most run calls, and in a shorter yardage, Sanders doesn't have as good a card, but he's got a better guess right for picking up.
Sanders is pretty good guess right. That card, we had a talk about that in the preseason.
Yes, we did.
I like that card for guessed right.
And
actually, it's not bad guessed wrong.
It's not a bad off tackle right. And you're absolutely right.
He's kind of got one of those McCaffrey cards guessed right, where he's not necessarily killing you with a big short game, but he's lots of +2s, 3s, and 4s. He can do it in any of the 3, run zones. So he ends up playing a lot more in short yardage. And, of course, Coleman's only got 15 carries. But there's a lot of situations where I just feel like, Sanders is better. And I don't know. As the season progressed, though, like I say, I try not to get locked in on one particular thing. I study my team a lot before the season starts. But you always, as much as you think, okay, I'm kind of thinking ahead. How am I going to do best on 3rd and 4, on 3rd and 10, and if I'm starting around the 40, which quarterback and running back feels better? And I still felt like Mahomes was going to be the best, but the stats were just kind of slapping me in the face. And also just my gut feel was like, I don't know, maybe this particular team, it might be, just a better fit right now. And keep in mind, I think you guys know it. There's very little differential between the two. They're both very close in what they do. So it's not like I'm having a huge drop off and Mahomes can't throw flat or Prescott can't throw long or short. There's just a little bit of degree of difference, between the way they work. Had Prescott pistol rated, I think it would have been a lot closer coming in because I would have loved that extra protection, help on short and long passes, especially.
I was surprised in S28 a few years ago. I had Case Keenum, who had a really good card that year. And I was not used to a quarterback that was that much better on the short than the flat. Like, he wasn't horrible, but it was kind of like reminds me of your current situation, the differences. And I just threw more short. I mean, but I think you usually have good receivers, but I also had really good receivers. And it's actually, I think I had been underestimating for a while how good the short pass can be, with those guys.
I'm actually pretty average at receiver, but I was going to say, isn't Gardner Minshew experience similar to that? A guy that's pretty good short and long, but he kind of, compared to his short and long being solid, isn't quite great flat.
Well, the short wasn't really good. It was just better than his flat. His strength was that he doesn't turn it over, and I had thought that I'd have a shot at the playoffs because he was a low turnover quarterback. And I have really good receivers.
Yeah.
So I've played years with Flacco, and who's had cards that were stronger on the short, things like that.
Hey Dennis, how you doing?
Hey, good.
Good.
How are you guys?
Congrats, Dennis.
Hey, thanks. After you spanked me in the S28 playoffs, I had to get
I'm glad you got all this out in this game and not against me.
Yeah, I couldn't do no wrong in this one. Just go deep, hit it, double team, pick. It was just like everything I did worked.
I didn't join
turnover differential in the regular season. It looked like it came back.
Yeah, no, in the regular season, I lost Ingram on the first or second drive. And my offense with Gore is not quite as dynamic as it is with Ingram. So he was able to shut me down. He called a good game in that regular season game. But, what did I get? 2 picks, fumble. He tried to advance a fumble when he was trying to get a first down, a kick return touchdown, a bomb right before the half with like 40 seconds left, and then a couple other big plays, another bomb or so. So I'll take it. I've had my share of bad luck in the SOMIFA playoffs. So, I was, it's funny. You guys remember this. You might remember it, but in Autumn Wind, I was playing in the semifinals, and the guy was beating me. This is my undefeated season. It was Chicago. Yeah, and I.
Oh yeah.
He didn't pull the second guy back in the deep zone.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson hit Golden Tate 27 yards. I was 24 yards out. There was like 15 seconds left in the game. I needed to get 2 short passes and get out of bounds to have a chance. I went deep. He didn't know the rule that you could pull the second DB back to put 2 men in zone. I told him afterward, did you know that rule? He goes, no, I didn't know that. So I told him that, but if he would have known that, I'm sure he would have plugged 2 guys in the zone. But anyway, after that game, I was kind of like I got let off the hook. It made all the rest of my playoff games so much easier. Whereas I feel like in this playoff run, I kind of got let off the hook by Wayne in that field goal. It's like, okay, I'm playing with house money now. I don't. There's no pressure on me because I really should have lost that opening game to Wayne.
Yeah.
So
what happened in that game?
So the first round game, Wayne was leading by 6. 2 minutes left. He's inside the 10. He's at like the 4-yard line or 5-yard line. Oh, maybe the 2-yard line. I don't know. It was close. 3-yard line. It was a 3-yard line. He lined up for a 2 through 11 field goal. Kick is blocked. I get the ball 89 yards away, drive it all the way down, score a touchdown to win the game with like 15 seconds left or 8 seconds left. It was like my second to the last play of the game. Unless I would have got sacked, and then it would have been it because I had no timeouts left. So that, like I said, Wayne should have won that one. There's no doubt in my mind he should have won that one. So, I've had games like that where I have a great team, number 1 seed. You get knocked off by a good coach in the first round. Wayne did a really great job of controlling the clock, keeping the ball out of my offense's hands. I couldn't get him off the field. 3rd and 7, he'd get a dump off for 7. 3rd and 2, he'd get, he call run, plug the zone, he'd get 2 anyway. That kind of game. So this game, just like, everything went my way. Nothing, just like Wayne had everything to go his way, kind of everything, but he controlled the clock, but he kept settling for field goals. And that allowed me to get back in the game, even though I had very few possessions.
But you brought up a real good point. I meant to bring this up when we were just talking, like in the fourth quarter. But you've had your share of SOMIFA heartbreak early in your career. Did you have a 15-1 season that early in that you ended up getting knocked out in the playoffs?
Yeah, I was with Tiki Barber, I think, and then the guy got like 2 punt return touchdowns. He had a touchdown on 3. I should have kicked it away from him. I didn't kick it away from him the first time, returned for a touchdown. Second time I did kick it away from him. It still went to him. It didn't get out of bounds, and he returned it for a touchdown. I had some games against Jay where, I've had a really good team tie game late, and I like cough it up twice on fumbles and give him turn the game around for him.
In the year Dale Minnesota Vikings win, weren't you up big in like the second half of that game, and then he just like hit a run of 2 or 3 touchdowns in a row? Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah, he got a touchdown. Then I fumbled a kick return.
Everyone wants to ask you about all your worst moments. It sounds like
it happens. I mean, that's there's good ones and there's bad ones. But Tom did great.
About Ingram, have you? Because you have him and Russell in Frozen Tundra too, right?
Yes.
How would you rate them, like playing with those two together versus any other combos you've had? That seems like a really, really, really good combo to have.
It is, because in this set, it's hard to run guessed right or guessed wrong. Just having both of them makes it hard for defenses to call it right. But, just like any offense in the set, or at least any running game in the set, even Ingram can be stopped if you call run, frequently enough. But he's such a good pass catcher too. That adds another dynamic, having him be able to catch a short pass. He can't go deep, but he's one of the stronger short pass catchers in the set.
And it's not just that. And I had mentioned during the broadcast that I thought you really used him well. I noticed in Frozen Tundra how many times you threw to him. I assume you're probably doing something similar here. But they can't just double that guy with a linebacker. You know what I mean? And they can't double your receivers with a linebacker covering them. So that they're left with like a lot of the time they have some, very limited choices on who they can double.
Yeah, I thought Tom might go over the free safety blitz technique that he used so well in the last round when he got 10 sacks, because my offensive line is, a little bit worse than was Jeff's offensive line with he had Lamar Jackson. So, and Tom was really effective doing that. And I like to throw short too. So that would have really forced me to like run more, throw flats, and only take the occasional shot.
It also helps against the running game. I mean, especially with someone false run. Well, it's the end run. I mean, you do it as much as anyone. You blitz zones to help stop the run. Just because you're not calling run doesn't mean that you're not trying to stop it, with blitzes and stuff. And I'm surprised. I looked over some of in my S28 team, because that was my only real option on defense was blitzing or just like trying to do a triple double team. And even against some really good pass blocking teams, you can have some really high chances when you ring the house. So I was surprised if he wasn't blitzing too. I didn't get to see the whole game, but I would have thought that would have been a good option. Yeah,
but then when you start falling behind like that, it really like takes away that plan. Whatever plan you had.
If it's all turnovers and it doesn't matter anymore, honestly. He may have planned on using some more of it. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then it gets so easy to call defense when you get that such a big lead. Just don't get burned deep. Mix in a run call if you want. I didn't. He hit that big run to McCaffrey, but by that time, he was up against it. And then I used that long 10-minute drive with Gore just to eat up the clock. And I didn't really care if I had to punt or not, which again makes it easier to call your plays. You don't have to worry about, getting nervous. It's like the game's, it's all downhill from there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and when you have a lead like that and you're just sitting back, like you said, when you decide to make a little bit of a riskier move, you're not really in any danger because they're not just going to be attacking that, when you're safety up or whatever. They're just figuring they just have what they have and they're taking what they can get, and then you make a quick stop, and it's easier to do it that way too. Yeah,
and Tom was, he coached his butt off to get here. His team obviously had some faults with Ryan Fitzpatrick's picks, and having so many fours and not very many fives on defense. We see his SOMIFA team. What happens when he has a really great team? He didn't have that here. He had a very good team, but I wouldn't say it was a great team. I don't think any of our teams are great. Tim made that point earlier. It's like any of us can beat one or the other on any given day. But I think of the four teams that were in the semifinals, Tom was probably the most surprised to definitely make it. You know what I mean? Like he had a good team, but I'm not sure he was expecting to be in the finals or anything.
Well, that's probably why there was so much balance in the league too, is the talent was dispersed a lot better than like SSFA, for instance. Looking at some of those rosters, it's just crazy the differences from the top to the bottom of me.
Right, but that's going to be fun too because everybody's kind of going for it. Everybody's really making.
I like it. Cool.
It's not just you and me making trades for the year. There's a bunch of other people trying to do the same thing.
I love it. If I see Ed trading for like an older guy and he's trading draft picks, I'm like, that's awesome,
Yeah.
Now I at least feel like I'm not like a weirdo because I'm, just always doing it. At least some of the other guys that are really good GMs and coaches are doing it too, a little more.
Yep. It's going to be fun. So have you guys turned in your supplemental lists already?
Oh, yeah.
I
don't have room for anybody.
I don't either. I've done all my moves for the year. I'm ready to roll.
Nice. Well, looking forward to looking forward to that game on Sunday. Hopefully, Nathan, you can come hang out again. Michael, you're going to call it. Maybe I'll join. We can just do a watch party.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, I
See how
might,
Tim and
I
Jay
might be
do.
on the road working on Sunday, but if not, then that sounds like fun.
I was going to say,
Awesome.
you got a phone, right?
Yeah, actually, I probably could do that at the job.
That's exactly right. You don't have to see it. You just
Just get on the Wi-Fi so you don't waste your data.
bingo.
Join us.
Well, thanks, Dennis, for coming on board. I know that's a wacky win, but win's a win. So congratulations, man. Have you won this league often?
No, I only one other time, and that was what 6-7 years ago.
Wow, really? God, this
I think
is
so.
really good coaches in this league. So
I know it was with Russell, so I know it couldn't have been that long ago.
Yeah, it was versus me. It was like 2015, I want to say.
have you won this league, Tim?
I'm sorry?
Tim, have you won this league?
No, I'm 0-2 in Super Bowls. So
Nathan?
I haven't even made the Super Bowl in this league.
Wow.
I think I made the game before the Super Bowl probably 5 times now. I know
Okay.
Dennis got at least twice from that. I know
Wow.
Paul's not here out.
Yeah, there's a 2014 season.
yeah, because 2015 is when I was in with Hasselbeck and Johnny Manziel, and I got out of the first round, and then Jay beat me pretty badly the next game. But yeah, I'm 0-2 in the Super Bowl so far. Ed beat me in I don't know, maybe 2005 season, and then Dennis got me in. No, I think it's 2008, and then Dennis got me in 2014.
Wow.
Our game was like, what was it, Dennis? It's like 13-3. It was a low scoring game.
Yeah, it was total defensive game, and I think it was like 7-3 into the fourth quarter or something like that.
This league has a lot of roots. I mean, I'm only in it because a coach had to vacate his team, so I don't know how long this has been going. I've just always heard that this was one of the most elite of coaches. Always a real good group of coaches, and it's very difficult to win a title in this, and that's pretty evidence. If Dennis, you've only got one, you guys don't have any. It sounds like so.
Yeah, Ed has multiple titles in all his leagues, and I think that he's really good at getting the most out of his teams. And I think he really, in the early years, he maybe understood the rules a little bit better than the rest of us, or at least maximized his understanding of the rules better than the rest of us. And you look back at some of his drafts, and he always makes quality picks in the first, second, third rounds.
Yeah.
But after so many years of drafting later, and the rest of the league catching up GM wise, I think that it's harder and harder for teams that always win to just keep going every year.
Right.
You got to go through some ups and downs, but it is a challenging league, a lot of good coaches, and I'm happy to make it to the Super Bowl. So
shoot, yeah, man, that's great.
I think I think a lot of us have learned a lot watching the others, both coaching and GM. I can honestly say I learned, a lot about my autumn wind coaching and such, watching Paul's team, from like 12, 13 years ago. He'd roll out, I can't remember if it was Phillip Rivers, but he would just kill you with short pass. And, some of those defenses I was putting out were average and poor versus the pass, very poor. And I was just like, man, and that was back when we had dump off, but I was just like, you can just dominate a game if you can just roll out there and pass like that. And as part of my, going after good receivers and such, I was thinking, even if you like to run like I do, man, if you can throw the ball, that well. And also watching Paul draft, he would pick at 22, 23, and he's always getting guys that a couple years down the road, it's like, man, he probably could have gone 10th overall. And Ed, of course, doing the same thing. I think Ed's got a really good way. He doesn't make trades for guys that aren't going to help a whole lot. They're just kind of fillers. But when he makes a deal, it's normally kind of an impact type player.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Now, Billing, I bet he's won this league, hasn't he, Jay?
Yeah.
He won in 2013, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was Zeb.
It was about 4 years ago. I want to say maybe 3. He beat NFL Ed in the Super Bowl that year.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Hasn't he won SSFA though?
Who's that, Jay? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he had back-to-back wins, I think.
See, that's why. That's the longest tenured league I've been involved in. This will be my 5th season. That's how I started, actually, was SSFA. And I've always known him to be like a super coach in this. I'm still green to SOMIFA, but SSFA is what I know.
won SSFA with Mike Glennon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
So that should tell you everything you need to know. He and I had a really good team. I had a really good team there. That was probably that might have been my best team that I've had in SSFA. Although this team is probably better.
So to set the record straight, Jay's never won SOMIFA. So
No,
Jay, whoever.
Won.
Huh?
Jay has one win in a championship in SOMIFA.
I'm looking at the thing that Tom put out through 2018.
Yeah, check around 2000.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking in the wrong column. 1-0 in the championship game. So he won. Let's see.
It's around 14, maybe you won maybe 15 or 16. I want to say.
Right.
Right after you.
2014 season. You're right. He went 13-3 and defeated Ed in the Super Bowl. So he's won 1. Ed's won 5. Ed's won 5. He's 5-3 in the Super Bowl. So he's been in there 8 times. He's like Tom Brady.
Paul's got 2 or 3 probably in that league.
Ron's 3-0, so he's got 3. And Paul has 2. He's 2-1. He had those back-to-back titles with Drew Brees. So the multiple Super Bowl winners are Zeb, Paul, Ron, and Ed.
Ron
Hey,
Martin.
I was going to ask you, are you going to run a 3-4 in SSFA, Dennis, or are you running a 4-3?
I'm running a 4-3.
Okay.
I think I have it's all defensive tackles.
5 tackle. I saw that you have a 5 and a 6 middle linebacker. I was just
No,
curious.
the 5 middle linebacker is just for backup.
Yeah. Well, I figured
He's
one
a
of them
5-0.
or something.
He's a 5-0. So I had a 4-0 and I shipped him over to a 4-0 that had some starts this year.
Personally, I was hoping you were going to run a 3-4 because I think that I would have a better chance against it. But
I like that 4-3. But a lot of people. I used to be only 3-4 as the only defense, but the 4-3 grows on me, man. It's strong against the run, stronger than you think. It's tougher when you get to the goal line.
Stop it. It's more difficult when you are trying to stop it. So it's a downside, but I think overall most of us aren't all trying to stop the run as often as we're trying to stop the pass. So
agreed. And what helps is it's easier to get 5 defensive tackles than it is to get a 5 nose tackle.
They're usually quite a bit cheaper.
So
it's true. All right, boys.
All right, guys. Well, I could sit here and talk Strat-O-Matic all night, but I think we've said it all.
And then some. It's 2:00 over here too, or thereabouts.
I appreciate you staying up late, Tim, and you too, Michael. Yeah, I know one's East Coast, one's Central Time. Me and Nathan, this is still early for us, right?
Oh, yeah.
You guys will just call each other back. I mean, it's okay. I'm getting off here.
Y'all play the all-night show.
All right, see you guys.
Hey,
All right, take care.
We'll see you soon.
See you on Sunday.